Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are talking about one of the most important foundations in JavaScript, which we'll be learning data types. If you're ready, let's get started. Every value in JavaScript belongs to a specific type, and knowing these types will help you to avoid bugs and understand how actually JavaScript works or behaves. So in JavaScript, there are two categories of data types. The first one is primitive data type, and the second one is reference data type. Let's write it down. So the first one is primitive, and the second one is reference. So we have two of these types of data types. Let's start with the first primitive data type, which we'll be learning about number. So the first one is number. So I can just declare a variable with lat and num equal to 5. And this one is a variable with the type of the value, which is number. And there's no like Boolean, there's no like double or float in JavaScript. There is only number. Both of them we call number. So the second one is string. In JavaScript, there is a string that we will be writing inside double quotes. For example, here you can see is that lat, which is str equal to hello. And this is the type of the string. So it can be anything inside of the double quotes is called string, even if it's a number. Okay, we do not call this number, this is just a string. And we have also Boolean value. So Boolean data type, not value. So we have Boolean. So Boolean has two values. The first one is true, and the second one is false. So these are the Boolean data type, and we can use Booleans in conditions actually, like when we will be using like different types of conditions. And the second one, the next one is the tricky one actually. It's undefined. So this is also a primitive data type we call. So undefined is you will declare a variable, but you do not add or you do not assign a value, and which means this is an undefined variable, we can say. And the next one is we have null as well. So null means like empty or no value on purpose actually. So there is a difference between null and undefined as well. Let me write the null as well. So let's write null. And I will just declare a variable which is null1 and equal to null. So this means null is that we use usually manually to show that something is intentionally empty. So, and another primitive data type which we'll be using, we do not use at all. So it's we call BigInt. Yep. And in BigInt, when we are writing it's called actually big integer or big number. We can just say it. Yeah. And you don't need this often, but it's also good to know. So for example, here, as you can see, so at the end we are just putting n, which makes the number as a big int. And the next one, we can move the symbol. And symbol is a unique and a rarely used data type, mainly for advanced features like creating unique property keys. So for that, we can just write this one. Yeah, this is just a symbol. So we can also declare without this actually, like a string it looks like actually. Yeah, and this is we call a symbol. And now let's move on to the reference data types. So as you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 primitive data types in JavaScript. And in reference data types, there is some a bit difference. And reference data types include only objects, arrays, and functions. So these three of them we call reference data types. So how we can declare the object? So we can declare an object by writing let object and with curly braces. So this is an object, and we can give the key, and then we can give the value. Let's say John. Yeah. So, and when we want to give another key and value, we need to put comma, and then we can put just age 30. And this is we call object data type. And the next one is array. Array we can declare like that. So as you can see, with the just square brackets, and it can contain in any kind of data type. So array is containing a data type with a number. So it can be the last one. Let's say it can be a string even. Yeah, like any empty string as well. And the last one is functions. So functions are blocks of code that you can run actually. So like how we can declare actually in function in JavaScript, yeah. We'll just declare with the keyword function, and we can give the name for the function. Let's say great, and we need to just put brackets and then curly braces, and we can just write hello world in the console log, yeah. So the key difference I can say between primitive and reference data types is how they are stored in memory actually. So everything will be stored in memory when we write a code, and primitive types store the actual value, which is string, numbers, null, undefined. These are, yeah. And that's why. And we have also reference types, and it store as a reference to the value. And that's why this changing one object can affect another if they point to the same reference, something we'll learn about later. Yeah. So understanding these data types will make future topics like comparisons, like if else, loops, conditions, arrays, and functions much more easier. So I hope you understand these explanations. In the next lesson, we'll talk about the type conversion, implicit and explicit type conversions, how JavaScript automatically converts the values, and how to convert them yourself if the JavaScript doesn't do. Yeah. And this topic will save you from some very confusing bugs as well. So if you're enjoying this series so far, please just make sure to subscribe for the next lesson. And thanks for watching. See you in the next videos.